Hi, my name's Jonathan Hicks. I'm back at the Dice Cup, and this evening I'm joined by...
Hey Bob.
Jayesh.
Steve. And we just finished playing Rise to Nobility, which is a Euro. It's very much a cube pusher. Look, lots of cubes. And essentially you're trying to get the cubes which represent raw resources and convert them into points. Most points wins. But in order to do that, there are various races. You can see kind of at the bottom here, this is like a council. You've got humans, dwarves, elves, etc. And one thing you're going to want to do is kind of acquire some of these people cards. So in order to do any actions in this case, you have to place dice. You're placing dice here to take the people cards, place dice here to get resources, etc. So when you start with your dice, my dice are all over the table. Let me just grab my dice together. Thanks, Steve. You roll them, and what's very important here is you have to add up the total. So 6 and 4 makes 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. And you compare it with your reputation track on your board. Now, at the end of the game here, my reputation was very low. I only had 9. But that means you can't spend more than 9 pips worth of dice on actions. So I can't spend the 6 and the 4 because that would be 10. That's too much. I could spend the 4 and the 3 and the 2 ones. That might be my best option. Because I've only got a rep of 9, I can't spend more than that. So what can you spend them on? Well, you could stick a dice over here, as I say, to get the people. Anyone who puts dice here afterwards, the dice has to be bigger than the one before. And then you just take whichever card you like. So yes, I'll take some halflings. That's great. And then another thing you want to do is house your halflings, for which you need a building. So you stick another dice here, and on this one, each subsequent dice has to be lower than the one before. You pay money, the sort of coins in the game, and you get to take a house from your supply, which goes here. Now, in order to house these people, you then need to acquire resources. So I need chairs, axes, and vases, it looks like. Effectively, these represent different kinds of resources. So it's brown, red, and green, represented by the cubes. And you get those by going to the various places around the edge of the board. So you can see the green vases are here, the red axes are here, and then the brown chairs now are over here. So the 6 resources are kind of represented around the outside here. And again, you're taking your dice. So if I put a dice over here, let's say to get a brown resource, if I put a 1 or a 2, I can pay a coin to get 1 resource. A 3 or a 4, I'd pay 2 coins and get 2 resources, or a 5 and 6, you pay 3 coins and you get 3. So this would let me get 1 brown resource. So you take it from the supply, and you put it on your board. This is for storing all the resources. And you're acquiring the resources in order, as I say, to house the people. You need to have a minimum of 6 resources, a maximum of 9 of the appropriate types. So, for example, if I had here enough, I could spend 3 brown, 2 red, and 3 green, let's say. Everyone you spend gets you a point, so you kind of want to spend them. So that adds up to 8, which is fine. That's more than 6, so I'd be getting 8 points for this. I'd house my people. You kind of put your house on the board, and then you stack up the card with all the others. So you've got a bunch of other cards here. And you're also going to get, in this case, 2 more people, which you'd be adding to your board here. Now, what are the people for? Well, when you place the dice to get the resources like this, you can also stick the people down. You can see there are kind of meeples all over the board here. So if I'd placed a dice here, and I already had a person, then you can put in just like spaces. You see the little circles here that go here, and these guys do a couple of different things. At the end of each round, you get income, and the more people that are here, the more income you get potentially. Although if other people go there, there's a kind of diminishing returns. The more people there are, the less money you're getting overall. But the other thing is then at the start or at the end of every round, you're getting income if you've built it on a building. Let me explain the buildings. So the last main thing you want to do is build the buildings, and you put the dice here, you pay the money, and you take appropriate building. It has to go on the matching coloured spot. So this is a blue one, you'd have to go on blue. You put it here, you get some points, and you get to increase the nobility track, which is this star point track here. But having it on building means every round I'm going to get a blue good for free. Having them here gets you the income, and also when you buy the goods, potentially you're going to get extra goods from those guys as well. So eventually you just carry on going around, getting as many cubes as you can and trying to trade them in to partly build your guys, because you're getting points for that, and then partly using them on here to get extra resources, ultimately to influence the council. In terms of the council, you have to have influenced the right people here. So if I haven't influenced the halflings, I can't do the halfling thing. But you kind of put a dice down and pay the appropriate resources on money, and then you're going to get points for this. But if you influence the halflings, everyone else is not very keen on this, and that means your reputation goes down, which makes it much harder to place your dice. So in order to get it back up, there is a space here where you can put your dice, and it just increases your reputation. So yeah, you play over 10 rounds, most points wins. You do get points from this nobility track as well, and also there are certain kind of minimum requirements. You see the shield here, unless you're above this level, you can't get the appropriate, that's the purple shield, and the white shield is higher up. You need that to be able to get these ones for the higher points. Alright, so what do we think?
Hi, I would classify this as what I'd call a Kickstarter trap. You look at the game, and I'll be honest, the artwork is really nice. Components are really nice, it looks great. If you saw this, you'd be, oh yeah, I think I might back that. But the actual mechanics of the game, very poor. The actual underlying game, everything's the same. They balance the game by making everything act the same way. It's the ultimate just cube buying, cube spending. You've got no player powers. There doesn't seem to be a lot of interaction. There seems to be a lot of dynamicness there. I personally found the game quite boring. I would not go for this sort of game again. I want something with some meat and some sort of mechanics and something a bit clever there. This is just it's barely a game in my eyes.
Jess?
I think it won't have a lot of repetitive play value, so you can't have a lot of strategy because there is no varied things which you can do. Everything is repetitive. I would say it's around 5 or 6 out of 10.
Okay. Steve?
When I first saw it, I like dice placement games, and I was intrigued by the fact that the reputation track dictates how many dice you can put down. I thought, well, that's really nice. You can kind of focus on your reputation, but you kind of lose out, and you get slower at doing other things. It is an engine building game, and Jonathan explained it. Is that you do this to do this, and then you do this to do this. So at the start of the game, you need the settlers to get the people out to get you the income, and then you need the income to buy the buildings. Then you put your people in the buildings. Then you get bonus actions when people use your buildings or you use your buildings itself. Towards the end of the game, where you've just accumulated a lot of stuff, and then you kind of transfer it into that. So overall, you step back and you think, oh, it's quite nice. It's quite nice progression throughout the game. But as these guys have said, something's amiss for me. There are 6 different resources in the game, and they're all identical. There's nothing different between a brown cube and a red cube, apart from certain cards need red cubes, certain things need brown cubes, and stuff like that. So with that in mind, I like what they're trying to do, but the game itself, it feels like, it's 10 rounds long. There's a lot, if you get bored with it, you're going to get bored for quite a while. Although we played quite snappily, I think we played in about 2 and a bit hours maybe. It feels like it needs to be that many rounds long, because it wasn't until the last few rounds we were going to that council and losing our reputation to trade it in for points and stuff. But yeah, there's just a bit missing from the game myself. There is an expansion in the base game, like a little add-on you can do, which I haven't played with, and the player power is very minimal. You get 1 off bonus, and you can do one thing a teeny bit better. So yeah.
Rating?
5.5.
Okay. Jez, you said 5 or 6.
5 and 16.
Okay. Anyone?
I've been nice with a 4.
Okay. I think it's fine. I think all the comments are fair. It does feel very much like you're just converting cubes into points again and again and again, and there isn't much to differentiate the various tracks. It's fairly obvious what you need to do on your turn. I think my main issue is there's a lot of, I was going to say complexity. It's not interactive complexity. There's just lots of bits. There's lots of different tracks. There's a few things I didn't explain in the rules overview there, because they don't really add to the strategy of the game. It's just more bits for you to do. And so it takes a long time to explain the rules, and the gameplay itself was a bit longer than I think it should be. And as Steve says, 10 rounds I think is a bit too long. But the basic mechanics are fine. I think I'll be on a 6 out of 10. All right, thanks for watching. That was Rise to Nobility.